Okay, so the only time that I've taken my grandkids camping with the Sienna van, we had two problems. One, we couldn't charge up all of the devices that we took with us. We couldn't keep them charged during the camping trip because we didn't have enough outlets going. We took 5 teenagers and an adult, and we couldn't keep everything going. The second problem we had was that trying to do that task, the battery discharged. It was an older factory battery and it discharged. So I'm going to show you two things that I did with 3D printing to help alleviate that problem. First off, I replaced the battery, of course, in the van because it was weak. It was the original OEM battery. And then I wanted to put my jumper cables in the van and keep them in the van in case anything like that ever happened again. But there was no good spot to put the jumper cables in the van and keep them out of the way on a day-to-day basis. However, I found a nook in the back of the van that was about the perfect size for putting the cables, but the nook wouldn't hold the cables in. It was just a little thin shelf that was just barely deep enough to hold the cables. But using 3D printing, I resolved the problem. So here is the back of the van, and here you can see on the left, you can see a little storage area where it keeps a first aid kit and a cargo net and some cord that I keep in here. Okay, that all can sit there and can't go anywhere. However, right above it was this nook. It's an inset on Sienna vans. And it's an inset that's about 2.5, 3 inches deep, and it's got a bottom. You can see the bottom down here, kind of, but it's really not conducive to holding stuff in. You know, you go around the curve and it falls out. So what I did is I basically 3D designed and printed these hooks that could go on the side, on all sides here. Here's another one, up there's one. And then that holds a bungee cord, and then I printed a 3D cross here that tensions that bungee cord and holds that in. So that took care of part one, and that holds our jumper cables in there in a spot that was never used in the van before. I already had the canvas bags, so that's a perfect spot for that. Now, that was some simple 3D printing. Let me show you something a little bit more complex that we did for the charging. Okay, and this works out really well. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a charging station that I created. It uses one cable going into the cigarette lighter, and on top it's got 2 wireless Qi chargers. So you can just put your phones on top of there and charge them as you drive. I want you to see, this fits in here like a glove. I'm trying to shake it and it goes nowhere. But it's just setting in an inset in the console. So it's not glued down or anything, but I'll pick it up and show you the back side of it that goes toward the passengers. And what is nice here, check this out. On the back, we've got 4 USB 3 amp charging ports. It's the smart chargers. And they give readouts on what the current voltage is for the vehicle. So that makes it real nice for the rear passengers to charge their phones as we drive down the highway. So that's a total of 6 devices that can be charging at one time, 4 using USB and 2 wirelessly. Now that's not all this little device has. It's got little secrets that are super nice. So let me unplug it and I'll show you the other things that it has. I'll turn it over. So there it is turned over, and I'll open this lid on it. Look what we have inside. First off, I've got storage area in here. So I keep some extra cables. So I've got an iPhone cable over on this side. I've got a USB-C cable, and this is a micro USB cable here. So if I need an extra cable, I've got one of each. Under here, under a storage area, I have this cable. Alright, and this uses an XT60 connector, And so this cable allows me to take this cord, which I also keep in here. This is to tie it directly to the battery so you don't have to leave your van running. So if you're at the campground and you need to charge a few phones, you can take this out of the van easily. There's no bolts or anything holding it in, and you can take it out and use this cable attached straight to the battery and basically hook that connector into there, and you can charge phones or devices. Now here comes the real surprise. If we open this door here that I created, there sits a cell phone battery charger. So all the time we're driving down the road, that battery is sitting in there, keeping charged, and I can get, if I get to the campground and want to, for instance, take that into the tent with me to charge my phone overnight, I can. It just unplugs here, you take it in, set it down, and that battery bank can charge up your cell phone. But anyway, it makes it super nice and convenient to keep all of our devices charged up, and gives us many options on how we get those things charged. So that should knock in the head any problems with keeping devices charged up, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's the way you 3D design and printing to a whole new level. So we'll just set that back over there and plug it in. And I really like too that this cord has got a LED that shows you when you're powered on, so that you don't have to worry about it slightly coming unplugged. But yeah, that's one of the biggest 3D design and printing jobs I've done, and find it very handy to have. Hope you enjoyed this.